Okay, now this is one of my favorites. This is my top sirloin that I like to do on the stovetop and oven. So let's check it out. Okay, so the steak is all seasoned up. We're gonna let that sit for about 30 minutes after salting it at room temperature before cooking it. We're gonna start by cooking it on the stovetop just to get a good sear, probably about 2 or 3 minutes each side. And then we've got our our oven preheated to 375. We'll go ahead, remove it from the frying pan, put it back on this, throw it in the oven for a couple minutes, and have the best top sirloin that you've ever had. Now with this steak, we're gonna make a nice shallot peppercorn sauce to go with it. So I've already pre-minced up some shallots here and some garlic that we'll keep on deck for after this is cooked in the pan. Then we'll deglaze the pan and add those things in. Okay, so we're ready to start cooking here. Gonna throw in that tablespoon of garlic and herb butter. Get that melted down. Cook the sirloin in that. Okay, butter's all ready. Let's grab the steak. Okay, now I like to do about 3 minutes per side for my sear for these thicker top sirloins, and that brings me to about a medium rare after cooking in the oven. Okay, that's 3 minutes on the first side. We'll go and give her a flip. Looking pretty good there so far. Give it another 3 minutes. Okay, final 3 minutes is over, so we're gonna go ahead and grab that, transfer it to our pan, and slide this guy in the oven. So for medium rare, I usually bake it in the oven at 375 for 10 minutes. I do start watching it after the 5 minute mark, I can kind of gauge it just to see. Sometimes I pull it out a little earlier, and depending on the thickness, it might need that full 10 minutes in the oven. Okay, here's our leftover pan. We're gonna deglaze. I ran out of beef bone broth, so we're gonna start with 1/3 cup of chicken broth. We're gonna kind of just clean that up, scrape up all that peppercorn left over. I like to throw in some fresh thyme as well, so we'll get that going in there. Next, we'll add our shallots and garlic. Those a nice little mix in. Get this back to boiling and reducing down. Get the onions nice and clear, or the shallots nice and clear. Now while this is going, I will crack some salt into there, probably about 1/4 teaspoon. Now, I did run out of fresh peppercorn using it on the steak, as I mentioned. I usually crush that up by hand to throw some more. We'll just go with some normal pepper for now. And we still have the pepper from the steak, obviously, but I do like the big peppercorn in this. Starting to look pretty good here now. Within about 3 minutes, the shallots should get pretty clear. The onions should soften. That's looking pretty good now. So we'll go ahead, and I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. Make sure we get all that goodness in there. Then we'll go ahead and just mix that in and start to reduce this a little bit. Probably another 2 or 3 minutes in here. Then we'll pull out the full sprigs of thyme there and transfer this to a bowl. Okay, so we pulled the sirloin out and we've let it rest for 5 minutes, and there's our end product. And then here is the peppercorn sauce removed from the skillet. I also took the drippings from letting it rest and mixed them back in here. And yeah, so just go ahead, sauce this steak up, and enjoy, guys. I'll post the macros for the sauce. It takes a couple more minutes, but really makes the steak so much more enjoyable and will make your meal prep just so much better.